We'd like to welcome you to the graduation exercises for the class of 2013 and 2014. There are some 54 graduates here this evening that we'll be honoring. This is the largest graduating class in the history of Salt Lake School of Performing Arts. We will begin this evening by honoring our flag and our great nation by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Samantha Gibbons will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome you here this evening to the graduation ceremony. We'd also like to recognize our special guest here this evening, Tim Digley, who is the state representative for the Charter School Association. We're very pleased that he would come to support us here at Salt Lake School of Performing Arts. A little bit about SPA. You may or may not be aware that Salt Lake School for the Performing Arts is not a state chartered school. We are chartered by Salt Lake City School District, and we have a unique partnership with the district, which I believe gives our students the best of all worlds and many, many opportunities. We are very grateful to Salt Lake City School District for their support. I could go on and talk for several moments about the things that they do to support us, but here this evening, representing the district, who will also be helping us to award diplomas, is Barbara Cruel, and she is from our teaching and curriculum department. So we are grateful for Salt Lake City School District and to have Barbara here with us this evening. Our graduating class this year has too many accomplishments that to be named, but there are just a couple that I want to mention. That throughout the year there have been many individual students who have received recognition, that shows the excellence of the students that we have here at SPA. We were sweepstakes winners at the Shakespeare competition in Cedar City. After having moved up a division, which is a huge accomplishment. That's kind of our state trophy, I think. Next year, our graduating class this year will represent us across the country in some of the most prestigious schools and colleges in the country, as well as representing us here in the state of Utah. To this point, our students have received some $2.1 million in scholarship offers. It's just been updated, so that's quite an accomplishment. We will now proceed with our program. We will first be privileged to see a dance performance called Resilience. This is done by members of our dance conservatory, Aubrielle Johnson, Summer Mickelson, Caroline Speichner, Max Wajek, and Alex Zinoff. When they are through, we'll hear from our valedictorian speaker, Jillian Brandon.
Graduating. I remember sitting in the computer lab in 3rd grade, logging into Type to Learn 2. Jillian Brenner, 686-959, class of 2014. 2014 seemed impossibly far away back then. A dream in the future, not something that would actually happen. Well, it's happening. We made it. We endured the highs and lows because I think we can all agree there have been plenty of each. We've survived math, we've survived history, we've survived the classes that we all thought were the only ones that truly mattered, the SPA classes. But I hope now you can see the value in all those classes you had to sit through, if not for the gift of education, then at least as a test of your endurance. I hope you can look back on your high school years and know the growth you've made as a performer or mathematician or scientist or writer or whatever it is you want to be, as well as your growth as a person. Because I know I can look at you and say, yes, these people have grown. These people have achieved. But here's the truth. High school is only milestone number 1. High school graduation feels like an ending, and in a way it is, but there is so much more to grow, so much more to experience. Look at it this way. The average lifespan of an American is almost 80 years. We're 18. Some of us not even that. If we've gone through all this in 18 years, imagine what we can do in 80. But let's take a step back to the next part of our journey. Whether it's college, the professional world, a mission, or just figuring things out, we're ready. We are. We've survived high school and all its challenges. We can figure out how to do the rest. Other people have done it. Trust me, we can too. We'll work it out. A wise old man once said, "To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure." Death isn't our next great adventure, but, knock on wood. But the sentiment stands for whatever part of life we are headed for. We're going on a new adventure, continuing the one we're on even, but down a different path. We're achieving more. We're reaching further. Take this adventure we've already started and make it better as we learn what to do, what not to do, and craft ourselves into everything we want to be. Day by day, mistake by mistake, triumph by triumph. Take our next adventure and know it's exactly what we need to grow, because you will make it that way. And the same goes for every new piece of life we encounter. There is something to be learned from everything. Take it with whatever the situation calls for. A grain of salt, a smile, even a tear. Every experience shapes us into something just a little more functional, just a little bit more ready for success. Even listening to me ramble on about life is teaching you how to stay awake through lectures, right? That'll be useful in college. I expect you all to credit me with that when you've given your Oscar and your Tony's award acceptance speeches. And beyond all that, congratulations. Congratulations, soon to be ex-seniors of the Salt Lake School for the Performing Arts. We did it.
Let me just mention a word on how our students are selected to perform here at graduation. In the past, when our classes were much smaller, any senior student who wanted to perform at graduation was allowed to perform. And 4 years ago, our graduation ceremony was over 3 hours long. So we came up with an alternative for our students, and last Friday we had what we called Senior Showcase, where we gave every senior who wanted to the opportunity to perform in front of family and friends. Here at graduation, each department selects a representative from their department to perform. And so we have representation from each of our 3 major disciplines at SPA. In addition to that, we have a wild card performance where students can audition for that 4th and final piece of that talent that we showcase. From our music department this year, they will be represented by Camilla Palmer, and she will be doing a music performance of 911. She will introduce her piece, but when we think of music department, we think of performances in vocal, in classical guitar, in piano, in a performance kind of way, but a couple of very strong programs at SPA is our music theory classes and our music composition classes, where our students learn the science of music, and it is a real science. Camilla Palmer has excelled in composition and has a wonderful performance that she will now present to us, and she will explain her piece.
As you mentioned, my piece is called 911. It's from a real event that happened to a young man who has paranoid schizophrenia. He went to work and killed as many people as he could before he shot himself. This piece is about the struggle of himself as well as all of his loved ones and the helplessness that they were all faced with this disease and not being able to help him in any way. This piece, as you mentioned, I did in theory class, and it was written with only 3 pieces of sound. One is my voice, one is the dial in a phone, and one is just a resonant drum. And they're distorted and put backwards and other features to create this whole piece. Thank you.
Delusions and hallucinations. These delusions and hallucinations we lost ourselves, or no senses, simultaneous chances, that was malfunction. It involved everything. His delusions and hallucinations became the only thing we talked about. His reality not all day after day is not just energy, and it is all out. Denial is always there. It was hard. We have lost our or no his somehow made our raised. His reality was not hard. His reality was not our mind that was malfunctioning. It involved everybody. His hallucinations became the only thing. They were so extreme. Day after day, and just drain every ounce of energy right out of you.
We will next be pleased to hear from our student body president, Adele Williams. I would like to just tell you that as student body president, Adele has given Salt Lake School for the Performing Arts excellent leadership, and we are very grateful for all of her efforts and those who serve in student council this year.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm just going to go right down to it. Writing this speech was definitely the hardest thing I've had to do as president. I juggled between writing a speech full of all of the reasons why us seniors are happy to leave, and one that you have all heard for the last 7 years. I finally settled on this. I want you all to think, laugh, smile, and enjoy yourselves. So strap in and keep all hands and feet inside the ride at all times and enjoy. Traits that represent the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Character. Adventurous, eager, strange, talented, curious, bold, dependable, honest, fearless, useful, young, glamorous, imaginative, leadership, obnoxious, kind, proud, responsible, mature, for the most part, noisy, wise, able, encouraging, smart, trustworthy, clever, brilliant, decisive, happy, fierce, anxious, bright, gentle, intelligent, loyal, childish, determined, rational, messy, irrational, excited. Character. You may walk away today with a feeling of bittersweet happiness, or you may even walk away feeling relieved. Whatever your feelings may be at the end of this, we will all walk away with something that has helped us learn, grow, and become who we are today, and that, my friends, is character. Character is something that is developed over the years with the help of everyone you come in contact with. It is not a marked down item in the back of a fresh market that you can buy. Trust me, I've tried. SPA is a place, I believe, that helped develop and define the character of every single senior sitting in front of me today. SPA, what it is and what it was, our teachers, our peers, are all aspects that aided in the creation of our character and what it is today. To understand how that happens, we must know what SPA is, and we must know who roams the halls from day to day. But first, what was SPA? SPA was a place stuck in an everyday high school that just wanted us out. SPA was a place with 8 graduating seniors and a freshman class that could fill the first 2 rows in the little theater. SPA developed into a place full of imagination, creativity, laughter, blood, sweat, and tears, lots and lots of tears. And now, SPA is a place where the drinking water tastes a little funny, a place where if you leave the sink water running long enough, it turns yellow, a place where kids are climbing up the walls, a place where finding lost leotards, shoes, and possibly a bra is completely normal. Simply put, SPA is a place full of With all of that come the people who stuck with it and who continue to stick with it, our teachers. I know that in every graduation speech ever, there's always a section that is dedicated to the teachers. There is a reason for that. Do you feel that cap on your head and that gown draping over you? Teachers do existential amounts of work every year to get those caps and gowns on our heads. They are fully committed and completely dedicated to keeping us on track, teaching us the meaning of commitment and dedication, caring for us, and so much more. Sometimes we don't listen, sometimes we backtalk, and sometimes we cry, but they still remain. Without them, the majority of us would have given up by now, but they are willing to push us, to push ourselves to get here. Thank you. Another wonderful thing about SPA is the people, our peers, who attend the school. Your character is highly defined by your peers. I'm going to read you the definition of peer, and while I do this, just think. Think of who it reminds you of. Think about that for a moment. Peer. One that is of equal standing with another, equal, especially one belonging to the same societal group, especially based on age, grade, or status. Your peers are, for the most part, highly educated and highly talented people who all have passions and dreams just like you. Through the years, we have all shared passions and dreams that drove us to where we are today. If you are to do anything today, thank your peers. Thank them for their love, their compassion, their willingness to succeed. To this group of individuals, thank you. I've known a lot of you for the majority of my time here, and without you, I would not have the character that I have today. Before I end, I'd like to share with you one of my last moments here at SPA that is one of my favorite examples of the quality of character. It was during the dance department show this year, opening night nonetheless. I was stage managing and I was accompanied by a wonderful tech crew. As we neared the end of the very first number, Jonah Josephson, my lightboard operator, and I were feeling pretty darn confident. The ballet dancers had come to an end, and as they were bowing, Jonah got extremely trigger happy and pressed go. To which I responded with a not so calm, Jonah, go back. Jonah, no, go back. Jonah, go back, now. He did, and they bowed, and while the lovely ballerina stood there, and stood there, and stood there, I was on headset screaming, Jonah, go. Go, Jonah. Jonah, go. Go, Jonah. Jonah, press go. This went on for a few seconds more, and when he finally pressed go and the lights went black, a look of relief came over the dancers on stage. If it weren't for the lively discussion of this event that I had with Bethany Hansen after the show, I most likely would have given my all to remove Jonah from the show. But because of the combination of Bethany's character and mine, I was able to laugh it off and share it with all of you today. So now you're wondering what the moral of this speech is. The moral is actually quite shocking. The moral is character. As you walk off of this stage with your diploma, I hope you walk away with a sense of knowing your character and where it came from. We are the graduating members from the class of We Made It. So, class of 2014, are you ready? Life, are you ready? Then let's get it on. Thank you.
We will now be pleased to have a performance from our theater department. Their performance is called There Should Be No Bottom. It's directed by P.J. Gold and Carrie Morgan. It features Jillian Brenner, Aidan Haney, Chris Miles, and Claire Wilson. Before they begin, I would like to just reiterate some of the things that have been said, in that we have such an amazing faculty and staff. In my professional career of 33 years, never have I had the opportunity to work with such wonderful individuals. And one of those great individuals was not able to be here with us this evening. That's Carrie Morgan. Carrie has off in the Midwest directing a play in Washington, Oregon, and she's so gracious that she could be here this evening. So with that, we'll proceed.
Sorry, we just practiced it where I introduced it, so I'm going to introduce it again. My name is PJ Wolk, and I directed a scene along with Carrie Morgan, and the scene is to be a short play. The short play is called There Shall Be No Bottom, and it was written by Mark O'Donnell, and yeah, please enjoy.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker at graduation. Her name is Kathy Rothels. Kathy is perhaps the greatest fan of SPA that I have ever known. Kathy is just about 90 years young. And she happens to be one of, I asked her, what can I say about when we introduce you? And she said, just say that I'm your neighbor and that I love you. She has a passion for our students and for the performing arts. I think that she attends more productions than the administration does. She has led a very active, full, and rich life. She has been the tennis coach at Highland High School and West High School for over 12 years. She is been or is in the Tennis Sports World Hall of Fame. She's also played tennis internationally. She, when I first asked her to speak, she was quite, she laughed. And she wondered what on earth we were thinking. But what she doesn't know is that she is one of our very favorite people. When I announced to our senior class who our graduation speaker was going to be, they all stood up and yelled and clapped because they love her so much. So with that, we will be pleased to hear from Kathy Rothos.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Sounds a bit too loud to me. Anyway, welcome to you all. What a wonderful evening and exciting time it is for us all. I'm very honored to have been asked to speak here today. I am totally unprepared for this. I have absolutely no credentials. I've never been an actor, dancer, played a musical instrument. I croak like a frog. I certainly wish I had the confidence and courage of these extraordinary, remarkable graduating students. And they have shown so much courage in the things that they have undertaken over the years. When we decided to move to Salt Lake nearly 50 years ago from the Western Desert, I realized that the choice of schools was the most important decision to make. I had 4 children in grade school, one just entering junior high. I met the principal at Roslyn Heights and liked her very much. But the biggest draw that Roslyn Heights had was that they had an extraordinarily good Suzuki violin teacher. Salt Lake City, elementary school. Way to go, Salt Lake District. There was a house for sale on 20th East, which would fit the bill. And that would put an end to the 200-mile round trips that we had to make for ballet and piano lessons. Also, I reckoned that the kids wouldn't need cars to go to Highland, and that it was an easy bike ride away to the tennis club. When, 35 years later, it was decided to close Roslyn Heights, it was a big concern to everybody living in the neighborhood. And we just wondered what was going to happen. For a few years, it was used as a temporary home for the schools that were being retrofitted. And when that ended, what would happen to the property? Rumors flew around, trophy homes, condos, even a ballpark. So it was a huge thrill and excitement for us when the School for the Performing Arts moved in. Way to go, school district, once again. You're doing a smart thing. Now I see the students coming and going down the street. That so many of you travel really quite long distances to be at this amazing school shows what a passion you have to enjoy this remarkable opportunity. I see none of you, as Shakespeare put it, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. I see you going down the road with enthusiasm and excitement. I hope it's for real, or maybe you're acting. As for the demanding performances, really demanding performances you could stage just this year. First it was Pippin, then Cardo, the apple cart, little shop of horrors, dance showcases, recitals, wonderful choirs of Christmas, and of course we mustn't forget amazing faculty performance of Tuna Christmas, which wouldn't have happened without all of you acting as wonderful, speedy stagehands. I've been amazed at the determination you've all shown. Even in this last month of the school year, you have put on under construction, had a problem following that. Over 60 of you performed in stages on the dances. It was wonderful. Piano and vocal recitals. The scenes from the magic flute were absolutely magic. The body of work you have undertaken has been absolutely astounding. And a huge amount of credit goes to your dedicated teachers, right? I realize how lucky we are as neighbors to be able to come over and attend these events. But most of all, you have made us feel so welcome. After Mr. Worthington came to my house with the invitation to speak here today, I started mulling over my own upbringing and why I was so intent on my children being exposed to the arts, and now what it means to be SPA students, to have found an environment where they can explore their talents and hone their skills. I grew up in England, as you may have guessed. My earliest exposures to the performing arts as a small child was Punch and Judy shows on the beach. These were puppet shows with a lot of interaction from the children. And minstrel shows on the pier. Blackface, that's certainly a thing of the past. I took ballet lessons starting about the age of 5. No particular talent, but it was fun to put on the tutus and step onto the stage. When I was 8, I started taking elocution lessons, learning to project one's voice, inflection, modulation, articulation. Peter Piper, picture breast control exercises and saying, how now, round, I don't remember anything about the rain in Spain, but that came later. Each year, I took examinations, recited poems, acted scenes from Shakespeare, and participated in Eisteddfod's and earned certificates from RADA, that is the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. It wasn't set in stone, but it seemed likely that I would eventually try to get into RADA. The best thing as a kid, and undoubtedly a highlight of every Christmas season, was a trip to London to attend a major production of Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Dick Whittington and his cat, or Aladdin. These were pantomimes. I've never heard of them here. They were loosely based, very, very loosely based, on children's stories. They were full of singing, dancing, slapstick comedy, probably somewhat off-color jokes, because pantomime was intended for the adults' pleasure as much as the children's. There was a lot of cross-dressing. The principal boy would be played by a leading actress, wearing a jerkin and tights, and play the role of the prince or Jack or Dick. The roles of Dick's mother and Jack's mother and Cinderella and his sisters were comical roles played by men, all very confusing to a young kid. So that was the beginning of my love affair for theatre, with more serious productions to follow. Peter Pan, an amazing one called Where the Rainbow Ends, which I haven't heard of for 80 years. But it was the first play that made me weep. I remember the anticipation of waiting for the lights to lower and the curtain to go up. And you know, I still get that same feeling to this day. The war broke out in Europe in 1939, which made all our lives chaotic and challenging in one way or another. For me, my high school and college years. In spite of all that went on, the performing arts flourished. Remember that. In fact, the contribution of actors, musicians, dancers, and singers was considered vital work. It was important to keep up the morale of a very stressed population. There was even a government agency called SEMA, which was the Council for the Encouragement of the Arts. What a splendid idea. I don't know if it's around to this day. When I was an undergraduate student in London, it was possible to attend the theatre very cheaply. That's why we went a lot. And this is how it worked. You went over to the theatre of your choice early in the morning before classes started, and you buy a ticket for about 50 cents, because I am talking 70 years ago. And with the ticket, you also got a stool. These stools were lined up along the pavement outside the theatre, and when you came back in the evening, you'd sit on your stool until the doors opened. Then we would swarm up the stairs to the highest gallery, up and up to something called the Gods. And there we could see the most astounding productions. I believe it was the joy of my life. John Gielgud, Laurence Olivier, Sybil Thorndike, often playing at the Old Vic, Margot Fontaine, prima ballerina, dancing with Robert Helpman at the Sadler's Wells, and the Lunts at the Lyric. At the beginning of the war, all the great works of art in the National Gallery were moved to a cave in the Welsh mountains for safety, and only the frames remained. But that did not stop Mara Hess, world-renowned pianist, from playing lunchtime recitals, sometimes under the dome, occasionally in the basement shelter. There were promenade concerts at the Albert Hall by leading symphonies, uplifting choirs at Westminster Abbey and St. Paul's Cathedral. All went on regardless of the possibility of sirens wailing or rockets exploding with no warning. I know that the notorious Windmill Theatre, noted for its nudity and therefore a great favorite of soldiers on leave far from home, boasted that they never closed regardless of the severity of the raids. They probably should have said never closed. I thought the expression, "the show must go on," might have originated in those years. It certainly was an appropriate mantra for the times. But I found it referred to an earlier time in the circus when the animals performance required. Within 2 years of the end of the war, the musicals arrived. I was absolutely blown away and entranced by the arrival from the States of Annie Get Your Gun, Oklahoma, Carousel. Actually, it made me fall in love with everything American. There was such a freshness and buoyancy and musical energy about these productions. Well, it didn't turn out when I went to Florida, so I guess that is why I live vicariously watching you pursue a future in the arts, as is evident in the amazing colleges that you're heading for. Your theme for the year, Reach Further, I think is splendid. For myself, I did reach farther. I emigrated to Canada in the early 50s and finished up in Utah. And so I guess I followed Yogi Berra's advice. If you come to a fork in the road, take it. My performance turned out to be on a tennis court. I still like to bowling. So graduates, continue to reach yourselves. So many opportunities lie ahead, and I'll be thrilled to hear how it all turns out. Perhaps like me, you will make adjustments or pursue alternative choices. One thing I am sure of, your talent, we've certainly seen that, your determination, you develop that, and your resilience. Talent, determination, resilience, along with all that you have learned here at SPA, will stand you in good stead. Congratulations to you all. Well done, good luck, and break a leg.
See why we love Kathy so much. And so, students, I hope that you, if you don't remember anything else tonight other than the fact that you graduated, I hope that you will remember that performing arts not only serves to entertain, but through the performing arts, it defines us as a people, it defines us as a culture. It defines us as a nation. And in our most difficult times as a nation, it has been the performing arts that has lifted the arms of entire people, an entire nation. I hope you remember the intriguing history of what Kathy shared with us and the importance of what it is that you do. There yet may be a day that your performances will help to lift and elevate those of a community, of a city, of a state, and a nation. We are now pleased to hear our student who was selected from all those students who auditioned for our wild card position. Kiana Netzler is going to perform, do a song and a slideshow that is entitled, I Am the King of the World.